bite your upper lip and sharpen your breast, it's Kim Possible, the animated teen spy from the early 2000s. So I'll admit I didn't really grow up with this show when it came out. I was just out of high school, going into college, and yeah, cartoons were kinda seen as kid stuff then. How naive I was. But I was aware of what Kim Possible was. Every once in a while I'd see it on TV, get a little laugh, and that's about all I thought about it. But then, for one of the other DisneyCembers, I looked over the 2 Kim Possible movies and found them, well, incredibly funny. And with all the people asking me to review the live-action Kim Possible movie that premiered on the Disney Channel, spoiler, it's bad! I decided, much like when I reviewed Last Airbender, that it made sense to watch it only after I watched the entire series. So I got all the DVDs, downloaded all the episodes, and yeah, I found this to be a very charming, clever, funny show. One of the greats? I don't know if I go that far, but I don't even know if the show would go that far. It's not really something that's trying to challenge you or be poignant, it's just a good, funny show. I'd say unlike Gravity Falls, where it feels more like they're writing for the adults than they are for the kids, this one it feels like they're definitely writing for the kids first, but the adults still play a big part. Like they're not half-assing it, they want to give something that, yeah, is trying to be cool with the kids, but adults can watch and get a few chuckles here and there. The show, about a high schooler named Kim and her sidekick Ron Stoppable, mostly focuses on her missions against a rogues gallery of hilarious villains, while also trying to do typical high school teen stuff, study for tests, make the cheerleading squad, and so forth. Like many shows, the first season can be a little bumpy, as you can tell they're still trying to find their footing. It's not bad, but it definitely seems like the season most geared towards kids. The second season is where it starts to pick up, and a lot more of the adult jokes start to hit. While most of the villains are pretty funny, I do find the most hilarious ones are the ones that are a duo. I think because they can banter off each other more. It's like Laurel without Hardy, Pinky without Brain, Abbott without Costello. Whenever villains are teamed up, it seems the best. The talks between Senior 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 and Senior Senior Junior, god, those names alone are great, are always super funny, especially with great voice talents like Ricardo Montalban. And of course, easily the show's favorite villains, Draken and Shigo, done brilliantly by John DiMaggio and Nicole Sullivan. I will admit maybe they're villain of the week a little too much in the show, but at the same time, yeah, they did make me laugh the most, so I guess it's not surprising. As I've said before, there's 1 or 2 weaknesses to the show, and one of them is a little bit of Ron Stoppable's voice. It's just a little too loud and a little too squeaky, but it always works out okay because the writing for him is so great and his delivery is always so great, at least in terms of timing. Kim also, as I've said before, can be a little bit of a blank slate, but I also understand it. She's supposed to be the hero, the cool kid, the one everybody wants to be. But I will say this, after seeing the live-action Kim Possible movie, I suddenly have a lot more respect for her character. She at least had basic comedy down. When she got angry, she would say something angry. When she wanted to say something really witty and funny, it would be really witty and funny. It just wasn't as funny as the villains, but again, that's kinda to be expected. The funniest characters are the ones that things always go wrong for, and it's a kid's superhero show, so of course things are always gonna go wrong for the villains. Unless they want to make her really egocentric like Darkwing Duck or something, but I don't think that's the route they want to go. Still, there's a lot of really good running jokes with her, like somebody always owes her a favor because she saved them in blank. They always thank her for some sort of weird situation that they got in, and she always says it's no big and brings up some sort of weird resolution that she solved it with. Jokes like that and a teacher played by Patrick Warburton who somehow is the only teacher in the entire school are good running jokes and very cleverly done. Also, it just gives an excuse for them to keep showing off their great comedic talents. There's so many good episodes to count, but my favorites off the top of my head, I really like the Christmas one, big shock, because it's 2 characters you don't normally see together, Ron and Draken, who both have to bond together in order to survive, and it turns out the one thing they have in common is they both love the same terrible Christmas special. As someone who adores terrible Christmas specials myself, I can really relate to this. I love the episode where a poodle gets really big, attacking Area 51, and somehow Area 51 always has a backup plan for it. They even have code names for it. The episode where Draken and Shigo get an underwater layer is great. I also really like the ones that go into Shigo's backstory, even though they don't really do it like traditional shows do. In, say, Batman or Avatar, they would really go into the character's background and give them like this big arc and you would learn all about them, but it kind of gives you the story and then stops there, in a way that kind of leaves you wanting more. There's another episode where Shigo turns good and actually becomes Kim's friend. Again, you could have really taken time to go serious with this, but it still keeps it mostly to the jokes and the action to the point where when she says, "There's something I want to tell you," but then gets zapped back into being evil, there is kind of this tragedy there, but it doesn't feel like it's beating you over the head. In most shows I'd say it's a missed opportunity, but because the writing and the acting is just so funny, it doesn't feel that way. It always feels like it gives you just the right amount, never going too dramatic with it. The same thing can be said for Ron and Kim's relationship. It almost doesn't even seem like anything at the start, and then as it starts to grow, it never quite goes too serious. It seems like the comedy and the charm of the character is always the first priority. And what I like is when they do become a couple, they're actually a really sweet couple. The first episode after they hook up, it's looking like, oh, they're gonna do the thing where they bicker all the time and fight, but no, it's really just that one episode, and after that, they actually work really well together. They're cute. I really like seeing them together. So yeah, if you're a kid, I feel like you're definitely gonna like this show. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl, like things more social or like things more action-oriented. It's got a little something for everyone. If you're an adult, I'd say keep in mind it is still a kid's show first, but it is a kid's show with a lot of laughs for adults and a lot of charm to its characters. I enjoyed watching it. I'm really glad it took the time to sit down, watch them all the way through, and catch up on a cool series that a lot of people grew up with. Give it a watch and see what all the buzz was about.